there, hi there, and ho there. Welcome to 15 Rounds of Flambé. Aaron and Matthew Johnson here, your hosts. Welcome back into our humble Flambé abode as we get ready to tell you all about today in sports. Past couple hours in sports. I won't even say today. Past couple hours.
For the opening, we're going to be talking about sports. But I like the opening until you stop, hold there. Like, hey there, hi there, hold there. I'm always good with that 70s show reference, but it could have just stopped right there.
Hey there, hi there, hold there. Starting on our show today, we're talking a little bit about Olympic basketball. The Olympics are winding down, and we're going to go straight to Team USA, who caught a little bit of slack this week from Charles Barkley, TNT analyst, Hall of Famer, 50 greatest players of all time, and very outspoken, former NBA player. Barkley talked about how this team is full of guys that want to shoot the ball. Matthew, do you think Barkley has a point with this?
Once again, I completely agree with whatever Charles Barkley says. Even though he says some outlandish things and some things I may disagree with, he said a lot that I've agreed with, and this is one of them. Like he said in the quote, "It's not a good team to put together." And he talked about how you take away DeAndre Jordan, everyone on this team is like they need the ball to do something. And I'm a little surprised because when I was looking at this roster with, like, say, Harrison Barnes and Jimmy Butler.
Harrison Barnes does not need to be on this team, but continue.
Even though say, like, Jimmy Butler's a scorer, he's also known as a great defender. So I thought maybe he would defend better. I thought Draymond, Clay, those are long guys. And I'm just a little kind of shocked that they're doing so poorly.
You see, I'm not, because, first of all, I said it when we first talked about the U.S. Olympic team a couple of weeks back, when I said that, first of all, this is like the B or the C team that we could have really been sending over to Rio. You got no Steph Curry, you got no LeBron James, you got no Russell Westbrook, so you got no James Harden. So a lot of the top guys in the NBA aren't there. Again, I say Harrison Barnes should not be on this team. But Harrison Barnes, you cannot defend Harrison Barnes to me being on this team.
I'm not sure there's going to be a defense. I'm not sure there's going to be a defense, but like Barkley was talking about maybe getting more role players, and I remember when this team was first constructed, even though this wasn't like an A team, this was like a team of still players much better than, say, the rest of the world has, and I thought they would just kind of sweep through, though, throughout the tournament. And when the names were first brought up, I thought they didn't include role players, but just mostly stars and Harrison Barnes. And then I looked back at the rosters, I would say the 2018 and 2012 team. And those teams had kind of role players. They had Carl Boozer, Michael Redd, Tayshaun Prince, Tyson Chandler, Andre Iguodala. That's what I feel this team is missing. They don't have an Andre Iguodala. They don't have someone who can score if he needs to, but someone whose main priority focus is going to be defend first, maybe get rebounds first. They don't have that.
That's what I said. That's why you're not going to give me Harrison Barnes. But I would rather see, even though DeAndre Jordan is playing pretty well from what I've seen, he's played pretty well. But I'd rather have someone like Andre Drummond, someone that's going to just be a rebounding monster down on the boards on this team. I would love to see somebody like an Isaiah Thomas, somebody that can really run the floor. If you're not going to get the top guys, get guys like that are known for doing a little bit of the dirty work, that are all-stars in their own rights, good players in their own rights, but are able to do more than just give me the ball. Because even though Jimmy Butler is a top defender, a lot of these guys are young, and a lot of these guys, I feel like, are taking this like an all-star game. I
don't say take it as an all-star game.
And a higher version of the all-star game, a level up.
I would say, like, a lot of them just are unfamiliar with how the rest of the world plays. You see, like, DeMarcus Cousins, he's fouled out a few times, I believe. And I just feel like they're having trouble adjusting to, like, how the refs, like, usually call games, how teams run the floor against them. Like, I was writing down how they don't really have a primary, like, point guard, someone who can run up the floor like a Chris Paul, like a LeBron James, someone who could, like, orchestrate the entire offense. They don't have that. They have a bunch of ISO ball. And I see that, like, according to the set, they shoot 36% from the floor. So it's just like no structure. They play like I'm not saying they have the attitude of an all-star game, but they're playing like it is an all-star game.
And that's another point that you bring up when you talk about how they've been dealing with a lot of the other teams and the reason why they are having such a difficult time. A lot of these teams are teams. They've been together for years. Look at how tough Australia played them. And Australia has been a unit of guys that have played together as a team for at least two Olympics, a couple FIBA tournaments, and just international. It's an actual team, almost like soccer in the sense of like when these guys come together, they're a team. They work together. They do different things together. They're able to orchestrate. They know the guys around them. These guys are literally just plucked off of their teams in the NBA and put together as a super team, a dream team. But their talent isn't as far gone as all the rest of the world, and so the difference that they had from we're not a complete team, even though they are, but we have all the talent. That gap is shrinking because the rest of the world is getting better.
That's a good point that you made, because like you said, like a lot of these guys, a lot of these countries, they have played together for a number of years. It's just that our talent has been able to like overlook that. We could just pluck the 12 best players in the NBA, and even though they played once in an All-Star game, we could beat teams that are like well organized and they know how they play with each other.
Exactly.
But, like this team, they don't have the talent good enough, I believe, to beat maybe, even though they're beating Argentina right now. Argentina is kind of older, so maybe like a younger
Argentina's older
in their prime would create more trouble with the USA.
I don't think this US team meets that 2004 gold medal Argentinian team. I don't think this is a step. This team is a step above the 04 Athens team. It really is.
No, I shake my head because I agree with that. But when you mention the 2004 USA Olympic team, I just think of the most selfish backcourt in basketball history, with Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson as your 1-2 guys.
Allen Iverson hit a couple game winners against Germany and everything.
Probably did have to be selfish because of the teams he was on, but
Stephon Marbury was this is pre-China, I don't know, idol Stephon Marbury, but well, we'll see how Team USA does. Do you think they'll win the gold?
Oh, I right now, if it's pick USA or the field, I'm still picking the USA.
I think I am too, though.
But for our second story, we stay in the Olympic Village and shift to the other side of USA basketball. And what are your thoughts about the dominance of women's basketball so far?
Well, truthfully, and it's funny when you look at how the men have been, I won't even say maybe struggling, I guess, maybe by Olympic standard, by Olympic men's basketball standards, they've been struggling. These women this is the dream team of women's basketball. They are, by and large, the best team out there. They might be the best team, honestly, in the whole Olympic tournament as far as how much they are dominating everyone. When you look at the roster, it's just head to toe with WNBA superstars, women that have won national championships, multiple national championships, UConn Huskies out the wazoo. So this team is absolutely amazing.
It's like, I think you mentioned Dream Team. It's like the world brought equivalent to a Goku fight, and it's just ridiculous because I'm looking at the roster.
Krillin to a Goku fight. That was good.
This U.S. women's team has 13 of the last 15 Naismith winners. You have a bunch of UConn players, and they're always dominating. And just in their last game against Japan, the score was 56-46 at halftime. The final score ended up being 110-64.
Oh.
Japan scored 18 more points. Scored 18 points, and the U.S. scored more than 50. So it's just, and it's funny because they actually took a picture after the game. Japan took a picture with the USA, similar to what the Dream Team was doing to opponents in 1992. So it's just. It's unbelievable. This is the most dominant team in the Olympics, I think. So far.
I think, and I'm saying when you look at the team, and they have it all. They have the size with Brittany Griner. They have the size with and talent with Elena Delle Donne. They have the actually just raw scoring ability of Simone Augustus and Maya Moore. They got and Diana Taurasi. They got the team leader in Sue Bird. They got the beast down low in Tina Charles. Like the team is just it literally, you're looking at it just like, all these women are probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
No question.
Like you're looking at all these women are definitely going to be in Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird and Maya Moore, the way she's going. Like all three of those, UConn stars are based off of what they did at UConn alone. They're going into the Hall of Fame. And when you look at what they've done in the WNBA and how they've really just grown the league and grown it as a whole, they are going to the Hall of Fame, and they're just literally systematically just plowing through teams, and it's
funny because when I watching these two teams, the U.S. men's basketball is just a bunch of ISO, a bunch of stagnant, bunch of 2006 Cavs LeBron, where LeBron's just dribbling, and then until the shot clock winds down, they try and do something.
The ultimate
I'm looking at some of the numbers
team.
of the women's basketball team. They've made 57% of those shots, and 75% of those shots have been assisted. And it's defensively too. Like Brittany Griner's dominating the post with 8 blocks. Brianna Stewart has 19 steals, holding opponents at 35% shooting. It's both sides of the floor, and it's just straight up domination, I think.
Yeah, no, and I said I can't wait till they get the gold medal because, and I remember they were I was thinking about it, what would be like the greatest upset, like if Usain Bolt lost or if Simone Biles lost or if somebody in the Olympics that had been dominating and had been getting all this notoriety, if Katie Ledecky had lost, like would that have been a bigger upset? And I think if any other women's team in the world beats the U.S. women's team, that will be considered the greatest upset in the history of the Olympics, just because, and maybe I may be overshooting that a little bit, but I think about it. Of the summer games, when was the last time you saw a team that was this dominant? Because in 2004, you can't say that Argentina beating the USA in the semifinal round, putting them in the the bronze medal match, that was really that big of a deal in the sense of that team really wasn't that good. It wasn't. When you look at that team, I see you had a young LeBron,
a young
Dwayne Wade, a young Carmelo.
Yeah.
The leaders of that team were, like you said, Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson. So you look at a team like this from the women's side, and it is just, there's no other term that you can put on this besides just pure, utter domination. Rounding out the show today, we're going to get into a little bit of some brotherly debate here. We're going to talk a little bit about the big debate coming out of Rio after the dominant performances of Michael Phelps in the pool and Usain Bolt again on the track. Matthew, who's better, Phelps or Bolt?
I mean, it's tough saying who's better. It's like comparing who's better, Jim Brown or Michael Jordan. It's just two different sports, two different worlds. So I'm just going with who I thought was a greater Olympian, because I still feel that Carl Lewis is the greatest Olympian of all time. Mm-hmm. But currently, I think the greatest Olympian between these two, Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps, is, I'm the one so Usain Bolt.
Why do you say Bolt, though? I mean, when you look at the when you look at the accolades alone that Phelps has, and some of the things that he has, you can't even say he had to put on his back because he's on the relays. Yeah, Bolt's on the relay too, but Phelps is on multiple relays that has to count on other people, and he has to lead. So he had some of his titles or some of his gold medals are on the backs of other people, and that's not taking anything away from them. But at the same time, if he doesn't perform or if he doesn't lead that team, then he loses at least a couple medals that he could have had, let alone the fact that he's doing this at 35 or 30. What is he, 31?
Oh, he's only 31.
Yeah, only 31 to us, but in the world of swimming, you're swimming against 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds and even maybe some teenagers. 31 is ancient, and for him to be able to still do
that's a good argument. Even though it's not as many at events team events as Phelps, Usain's had some because he won the 4x1, so he's had a team. And I go by quality of dominance versus quantity of dominance, because even though Phelps is the greatest swimmer of all time, he's won a ridiculous amount of 28 medals, nearly 30 medals. He's had 23 gold. That means he's had 5 of bronze and silver. So about Usain, right now he has 7, likely going to be 9. He has 7 golds in 7 events. So I go by quality versus quantity, because of course there are more events in swimming than there are racing.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go more events route, yes, you have to run more events, but that adds to the greatness that you're a multi-event winner, because this is not he's running. I don't know. It's not he's swimming. Freestyle back and forth 3 times, and freestyle back and forth 5 times, and freestyle. These are all different events, all different techniques. Freestyle, backstroke, butterfly. They're all different events to the point where he has to be. Actually, I don't think he does the backstroke, but anyway,
fly, backstroke.
Exactly. There's so many different events that you have to do, and you have to not only be able to do them, but you have to be great at them too. I think that adds to the greatness that he has, and yes, it's a hard side to take of going against Usain Bolt, because Usain Bolt has been the fastest man on the world 3 Olympics in a row for a grand total of 3 times 4, 12 years. So when you sit back and you look at how Bolt has, if I remember correctly, he only has a DQ as his only loss in all the events that they run, including world championships. So it's one of those situations where it's and I could be wrong on that, but it's all situations when you look at a sprinter is. I'm not gonna say sprinters are one-trick ponies because obviously there's a lot to the sport and to the craft of being able to sprint at that top speed. But at the same time, I don't think it is at the same level of having to sit there and learn how to swim. Not only learn how to swim, because half people in the world don't even know how to swim.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a big point. That's a big reason why I would pick Bolt. Like you said, Phelps does a bunch of other events, and that's why I feel like I would pick Jesse Owens possibly and Carl Lewis in front of Bolt amongst all-time Olympians, because they also jumped and hurdled. And they didn't do long distance, but it was multiple things, not just sprinting.
Yeah.
But like you said, like, half of the world's not really swimming. Usain Bolt, I mean, swimming's just putting down flatly. Swimming's like a country club sport. You have to be very rich. You have to be very wealthy to compete at a high level. And the United States has created an infrastructure where they're the best in the world at this. But like, anyone can just go out and run. So Usain's facing greater competition, and unfortunately, with the cloud of PED use in track and field, Bolt has not tested positive for any use, and with a childhood of Barry Bonds and Alex Rodriguez, I really, really hope he doesn't.
I was about to say, I'm thinking the same thing about Michael Phelps. Like, yo, can you please, like, can we get one?
I mean, he's beating guys who are trying to cheat to beat him, and he's breaking world records while doing it. So I just feel like it's more impressive that he's doing that and facing more competition than, say, Phelps, who most of the world doesn't swim at a high level like the United States does. So.
Yeah, but and with that being said, and I'll leave it at this point, I still think that although the competition is harder in the sense of everyone can run, but not everyone can swim. But at the same time, you can't take away from the skill and the persistence and the years of dedication and training that it takes to not only be able to swim, to not only be able to do these strokes. Because me and you can swim, but I don't think we butterfly and stroking anywhere. But to be able to do these, let alone in an Olympic-sized pool, but not only to be able to do these, but so be able to do these at such a high level that you not only make it to the Olympics, you not only win a medal, but you dominate for years. I mean, his first medals was what, in Sydney? In Sydney
2004.
Or
it was
2004, so that's in Athens. In 2004. That's 12 years of just pure and just, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously, even though like we can just debate it, there's obviously no question the two best Olympians of all time.
Thank you again for joining us here on 15 Rounds of Flambé. Matthew and I, we keep duking them out, putting all the content out to the channel. I'm just starting a new job, so my energy level has just trickled ever so slightly. Matthew's still doing his job and working hard out there. But again, thank everyone. We want to thank everyone out there that continues to watch us, continues to support the show. And as always, you guys know what to do. Hit the subscribe and the like button down in the description below. Pointing, people pointing. Anyway, we will be back. I'm tired. Let me rock. We will be back again on Friday. Yes, we will. I know we said that last week, but then some things came up.
I wasn't here on Wednesday. I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, I went to a barbecue. I did. I admit I went to a barbecue. The food was so good. But we will be back on Friday. Swear for Lord. And we hope that everyone continues to watch us, and we will see you then on Friday.
See ya.
See ya.